Well, this is Steve Ridgel, and it's early in the morning out here in West Texas, and I found myself thinking about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan. Grew up in the end zone of the old Cotton Bowl. We used to ride the bus over after church and watch the Cowboys ride the bus back for Sunday night church. Me and my best friend Richard, and so I've had a long time, for better or worse, enjoying the Cowboys. Now, there have been times when that was fantastic. And there have been a lot of times when it's painful. Recently, more painful than enjoyable. Now, Jerry Jones owns the Cowboys, and he has every right to run them however he wants. I'm always amazed at fans that think he is personally hurting them by his stewardship of the Cowboys. It's his toy. He bought it. He can do with it whatever. It's his money. Now, you'd like to say it's a public trust for the fans, but hey, he bought them, and he's clearly a financial genius and the worst general manager in the history of football. And I'm amused as I watch him now because you've got all that debate about Zack Martin holding out for a new contract. Now, a couple of things I think are absolutely true. Zack Martin may go down as the greatest offensive guard to ever play in the history of the National Football League. Even getting toward the end of his career, he still is maybe one of the two or three best offensive linemen in football. And he is not paid that well. There are 7 or 8 guards making more money than Zack Martin. But I get the argument, hey, he signed a contract, still got a couple of years to go. So, you said you'd play for that, you ought to. I get that. I get the argument that says, it's ridiculous to pay anybody the amount of money you pay professional football players to play a game. That's right. But like everything in an economy like we live under, man, you pay what the market bears. There are a lot of people that are grossly overpaid for what they do, and a lot of people I think grossly underpaid. I think what a teacher does is much more valuable than what a professional football player does. But the reality is nobody's going to pay a teacher, and they're going to pay a professional football player. So good for Zack Martin. I also get that he's very smart. This is the time to ask for more money. It really is. Because the Cowboys have a chance to win a Super Bowl this year. They have a great defense. They have a good quarterback. I don't think Dak's a great quarterback, but he's good. Especially if he has a decent running game, and I think they do. Maybe not great, but it's going to be good. And they have a chance to have a good offensive line. Well, you put that with a great defense, and you have a chance to win. Of course, you take Zack Martin out. You don't have a good offensive line. You may not even have a serviceable offensive line. So I get that he's striking when the iron's hot and saying, pay me, and I can make all those arguments. Here's where it gets really amusing to me. I hear Dak say, pay the man. Well, Dak's got his. Is Dak overpaid? Of course he is. He is not worth what he's paid. He's paid like a quarterback that can win the Super Bowl, and he's not that good. He's a quarterback that can get you to the Super Bowl, and if everything else works, they can win. But he's not that. He is a good quarterback, paid like an exceptionally great quarterback. But here's the deal. That's what the market says. Quarterbacks are overpaid. That's just the reality. And there are a lot of quarterbacks just like Dak making way more money than the value they give. It happens. Offensive guards aren't paid like that. Offensive tackles may, especially left tackles may be, but not offensive guards. So I get that. And I'm a little amused that Jerry Jones is taking a hard line with Zack Martin when he's the guy that paid Ezekiel Elliott way more than a good running back should have been paid. And Ezekiel Elliott wasn't a good running back, and nobody pays running backs. Now, running backs are all in a tizzy, and they're all upset, and they think that's bad, and I get it, but it's just what the market bears. So I get a little amused watching people who have theirs tell somebody else they need to get theirs. I get amused at an owner who plays favorites and picks one guy and way overpays him and then draws a hard line on another guy. It's just like life. It's really easy to tell everybody else how to spend their money. It's really easy when you get yours to say what you ought to do for everybody else. And when you don't have yours, I get Zack Martin. Hey, try to get it while you can. So those are just some life lessons watching the comedy that's the Dallas Cowboys.